The phone rang at 2:17 in the morning. Sammy Davis Jr. was in his suite at the Copacabana in New York. November 1957. Riding high. 20 shows a week. Standing ovations every night. His name in lights, the world at his feet. He grabbed the receiver expecting his manager. Or Frank. Or Dean calling drunk from some bar in Chicago. Yeah? Sammy, it's Nat. Sammy sat up straighter. Nat King Cole. The smoothest voice in America. The man who'd opened doors for every black entertainer who came after him. The elder statesman. The standard. Nat. Jesus, it's 2 in the morning. You okay? I need to see you, Nat said. His voice was different. Serious. Now. I'm downstairs in the lobby. Downstairs? Nat, what's going on? Just come down, Sammy. Please. The line went dead. Sammy threw on clothes and took the elevator down. The Copa lobby was empty, except for a night clerk and Nat King Cole sitting in a leather chair by the window, wearing a dark suit and a darker expression. Nat stood when he saw Sammy. Let's walk. They walked out onto the New York streets, November cold biting through their coats. The city never really slept, but at 2:30 a.m., it at least pretended to rest. Nat, what the hell is this about? Nat stopped walking, turned to face him. Kim Novak. 2 words. But they hit Sammy like a freight train. His stomach dropped. How did you? Everybody knows, Nat said quietly. The studio knows. The press knows. The mob knows. Everybody knows you've been seeing her. We're just friends, Sammy lied. Nat looked at him with something between pity and anger. Don't insult me with lies, Sammy. I've been where you are. I know what that look means. I know what risking everything for a woman feels like. Nat had married a white woman too, Maria, in 1948. He knew the cost. I love her, Nat. I know you do, Nat said. That's why I'm here, to tell you to stop. Sammy's jaw tightened. You of all people, me of all people know exactly what's coming, Nat interrupted, and I'm trying to save you from it. He grabbed Sammy's shoulders. Listen to me. Kim Novak is not Maria. Maria was a singer. Unknown. The public didn't care about her. But Kim? Kim is Columbia Pictures' golden girl. They've invested millions in her. She's supposed to be America's sweetheart. Pure. Untouchable. White. So what? It's 1957. The world is changing. Not that much, Nat said bitterly. Not nearly that much. He let go of Sammy. Do you know what they did to me in Birmingham when I performed there in '56? Sammy knew. Everyone knew. White supremacists had stormed the stage during Nat's performance, beaten him, broken his back, nearly killed him. For the crime of being a successful black man. That's different, Sammy said. That was the South. We're in New York. We're in Hollywood. Geography doesn't matter when you're black and in love with a white woman, Nat said. The hate is everywhere. It just wears different clothes. He stepped closer. They're gonna destroy you, Sammy. The studio, the press, the mob. They're gonna come at you from every angle. And when they're done, you won't have a career. You might not even have your life. I can handle it. No, Nat said firmly. You can't. Nobody can. Not even you. He pulled something from his pocket. An envelope. Handed it to Sammy. What is this? Photos, Nat said. Of you and Kim, leaving her apartment, holding hands in a restaurant upstate, kissing in your car. Sammy's blood went cold. Where did you get these? From a friend who works at Life magazine. They're planning to publish them next week. Front page. Sammy Davis Jr. S. Secret White Romance. They're gonna crucify you. Sammy opened the envelope, saw himself and Kim, moments he thought were private, stolen, exposed. I can buy the photos, Sammy said. I can pay them off. You can't buy them all, Nat replied. And even if you could, there are more where these came from. There are always more. He looked Sammy in the eye. End it. Today. Call her. Tell her it's over. Walk away while you still can. I can't. You have to. Nat, I love her. I can't just. Then you're going to lose everything, Nat said. His voice was sad now. Resigned. Your career, your freedom, maybe your life. And Kim will lose everything too. Her career, her reputation. They'll destroy her for loving you. He started to walk away. Stopped. I drove here from Connecticut in the middle of the night because I care about you, Sammy. Because you're talented. Because you're family. Because I don't want to see them break you the way they tried to break me. His voice cracked. But if you ignore this warning, if you keep seeing her, I can't help you. Nobody can. Sammy stood on that New York street holding the envelope, watching Nat King Cole disappear into the November darkness. And he made a decision. The wrong one. He didn't end it with Kim. He told himself Nat was being paranoid, overcautious, that times were changing, that love would conquer all. He told himself a lot of things, all of them lies. 3 weeks later, the calls started. Not from Life magazine. From people with thicker accents and heavier threats. A voice on the phone at 3 a.m. Mr. Davis. You need to stop seeing the Novak girl. Who is this? Someone who doesn't want to see you get hurt, but will make sure you do if you don't listen. Click. Another call. Different voice. Same message. Your father, Sammy Sr. He still performs in small clubs, right? Would be a shame if something happened to him. Accidents happen all the time in those places. Click. Sammy's hands started shaking. These weren't angry racists, these were professionals. And they knew everything. His schedule, his family, his vulnerabilities. He called Nat. They're threatening me, Nat, the mob, they know about Kim. There was a long silence on the other end. I told you, Nat said quietly. I told you exactly what would happen. What do I do? You do what you should have done 3 weeks ago. You end it. I can't just. Sammy. Nat's voice was hard now. They threatened your father. That means they're serious. That means if you don't end it, they will. And it won't be clean. It won't be quick. It will be public. Violent. A message. Sammy felt tears running down his face. I love her, Nat. I know, Nat said, his voice softening. But sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes survival matters more. Sammy ended it the next day. One phone call to Kim. I can't see you anymore, she cried. He cried. Is this about the threats? She asked. You know about them? The studio told me. They said they'd protect us. They said. The studio is lying, Sammy said. They want this to end as much as the mob does. We're bad for business, Kim, both of us. I don't care about business. I have to, Sammy said. Because if I don't, they'll kill my father, they'll kill me, they'll destroy you, and I can't let that happen. Sammy. I'm sorry, he whispered. I'm so sorry. He hung up. And 3 days later, Sammy Davis Jr. married a black chorus girl named Lorraine White in a wedding so sudden that even the bride looked confused. The photos made every paper in America. Sammy Davis Jr. weds and surprise ceremony. The mob backed off. The studio breathed a sigh of relief. And Sammy's heart broke into pieces so small he'd spend the rest of his life trying to put them back together. The marriage lasted 11 months. Lorraine was a nice woman. She didn't deserve to be a shield. A prop. A piece of theater designed to save Sammy's life. When they divorced, she told a reporter, Sammy's a good man, but he was never really mine. His heart belonged to someone else. 6 months after the divorce, Sammy called Nat King Cole. You were right. I know, Nat said. There was no satisfaction in his voice. Just sadness. I should have listened to you. Yes, you should have. I lost her, Nat, and I lost myself. I married someone I didn't love to prove something to people who'll never accept me anyway. I know, Nat said again. How did you survive it? Sammy asked. How did you marry Maria and live through the hate? Nat was quiet for a long time. "I almost didn't," he finally said. "The Birmingham attack? That wasn't random, Sammy. That was a message about Maria. About me thinking I could cross that line and get away with it. But you stayed with her. Because Maria wasn't famous," Nat said. "She wasn't worth destroying to the people in power. Kim was. That's the difference." He paused. "You didn't lose because you were weak, Sammy. You lost because the game was rigged from the start." In 1960, Sammy met May Britt, another white woman, Swedish, blonde, an actress. And this time, Sammy remembered Nat's warning. But he also remembered something else, that some things are worth the fight. He married May in 1960. The hate came flooding back, death threats, burned crosses. President Kennedy's people uninviting Sammy from the inauguration. But Sammy stayed with her for 8 years, until the marriage fell apart for different reasons. Not because of the hate, because of the pressure, the constant scrutiny, the exhaustion of being a symbol instead of just a man in love with his wife. In 1965, Nat King Cole was diagnosed with lung cancer. Sammy visited him in the hospital. Nat looked thin, fragile, nothing like the giant who dominated stages for 2 decades. "You married another white woman," Nat said, a weak smile on his face. "I did. After everything I told you. Because of everything you told me," Sammy corrected. "You taught me that some fights are worth having, even if you lose." Nat's smile faded. "Did you lose?" "I don't know yet," Sammy admitted. "But at least this time I chose the fight. I didn't run from it." "Good," Nat whispered. "That's good." He grabbed Sammy's hand. "I need to tell you something. About that night in New York, when I warned you about Kim. What about it?" "I wasn't just trying to protect you," Nat said. "I was trying to protect myself." Sammy frowned. "What do you mean?" "I was terrified," Nat said. "Terrified that if you succeeded where I'd failed, if you married Kim and survived, it would prove that I'd given up too easily, that I'd let fear win." His eyes filled with tears. "So I tried to make you give up too, so I wouldn't be alone in my cowardice." "Nat, you're not a coward." "I let them beat me, Sammy, not in Birmingham, in here." He touched his chest. "I let them convince me that I didn't deserve happiness with the woman I loved, that I should be grateful for whatever scraps they threw me." He squeezed Sammy's hand. "Don't make my mistake. Don't let them make you small. Fight for what you love, even if it kills you." Nat King Cole died 3 months later. He was 45 years old. At Nat's funeral, Sammy gave a eulogy. He talked about Nat's voice, his grace, his artistry, but at the end, he said something that made people shift uncomfortably in their seats. "Nat King Cole gave me a warning once. He told me to run from love because the price was too high. And he was right. The price is impossibly high. It costs everything." Sammy paused. "But what Nat taught me, even though he didn't mean to, is that some prices are worth paying. That loving someone in a world that forbids it isn't weakness. It's the bravest thing you can do." He looked at the casket. "So thank you, Nat, for the warning, and for the lesson you didn't know you were teaching." In 1989, Sammy Davis Jr. was dying of throat cancer. He couldn't speak, could only whisper, but a journalist asked him about Nat King Cole. Sammy wrote on a notepad, "Nat tried to save me, but I didn't need saving, I needed permission to fight." The journalist pressed, "Do you regret not listening to him? Not ending things with Kim when he warned you?" Sammy wrote slowly, "I regret that the world made Nat think his warning was love. It wasn't. It was fear. And fear is the opposite of love." One more question. "If you could go back, would you do anything differently?" Sammy thought for a long time. Then he wrote his final words about that November night in 1957. "I would have listened to Nat's warning. And then I would have thanked him and fought anyway. Because that's what love demands. Not safety, courage. The story of Nat King Cole's warning is not about a phone call at 2 a.m. It's about what happens when someone you respect tells you to choose survival over love. Nat was right about the danger. The threats were real, the mob was real, the hatred was real. But he was wrong about the choice. Because Sammy learned something Nat never had the chance to learn. That running from love to save your career just means you lose both. Slowly. Quietly. One compromise at a time, until you look in the mirror and don't recognize the person staring back. Somewhere in the dark of a November night, two men stood on a New York street, one warning the other about the price of love. One not yet understanding that some prices must be paid. Nat King Cole tried to save Sammy Davis Jr. that night. But Sammy didn't need saving. He needed to learn that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's knowing exactly what you're risking. And choosing love anyway, even when the world burns for it. Especially then.